street around the Osu area. And then also on the Yellow Couch, I'll be going to the theaters and we'll be having our day. And so that's what to look forward to. Follow us online using the hashtag GTV Breakfast everywhere. Up to you guys.
Okay, 055-556-1034. This is how you step into the new year. You step. Step.
I wouldn't want to be a Liverpool fan right now.
Shouts to all the people on the Sacrum. Shouts to our viewers in New Orleans, Louisiana. Silent Rasta is watching us. And he says he just loves the show. We have the best energy of any morning show.
Yay.
So thank you very much, Silent Rasta. One love. We've got 6 o'clock news right now with Maltiti the Red. You stay with us, don't go anywhere.
It's GTV Breakfast News at 6 a.m. with me, Maltiti Sadiq. Welcome back from the weekend. Very good morning to you. Stories that are making headlines this morning. The MPP regional elections that was held over the weekend. We'll be looking at that. Also, a lot has been killed in Bole on the road to Bole Bamboy. We'll also look on the international front where Ukraine's war, the French president and other presidents around the world are calling on Putin to call a ceasefire in the Ukraine and Russia war. We're live across the world on DSTV channel 278. You can take us to work on your phones, on Facebook at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We're streaming live there. Let's start off with the MPP regional elections, and the Bono regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Kwame Bafo, alias Abronye DC, has been retained in the just ended MPP regional elections on Sunday. The polls were organized within 3 days so far. 15 regions have held their respective elections on Friday, May 27, 2022. Elections took place in 7 regions, namely Ahafo, Bono East, Northern, Northeast, Savannah, East, and Western North. That's of Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra, Oti, Volta, Upper West, and Western were held on Saturday. The only outstanding election is that of the Central region, where polls have been suspended until further notice due to a court action. While some incumbents retained their positions, others failed in their re-election bids, paving the way for fresh entrants to take over the job at the regional level. Still on the MPP elections, Mr. Bernard Entry-Bosiako, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, was on Saturday, 28 May 2022, re-elected as the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, NPP. Mr. Bernard Entry-Bosiako polled 667 to beat his closest contender, Mr. Odinihu Kwesiapia, who put 482 votes to win the slot for the 3rd time. The others, Asare Bediako Robert, had 20 votes, Kwabno Wusu Adwomi had 9 votes, and Kofiedum Bewa had 3 votes. Let's look at some crime-related stories up north. And a lawyer on Saturday was attacked and shot dead by armed robbers on the Bole Bamboy Highway in the Savannah region. The deceased has been identified as Accra-based lawyer Richard Badombi. In a statement dated May 28, the Ghana Police Service revealed that the victim was driving a Hyundai Accent saloon car with 2 other passengers on board, traveling from Accra to Jirapa when the incident occurred. The statement explains that when the victim got to the section of the road between Bandang Kwanta and Luoyiri, 3 armed men emerged from the bush and signaled them to stop. And while slowing down, one of the robbers shot and killed the driver. The police noted that they have mounted a manhunt for the 3 suspected armed robbers. Away from crime in the north, let's look at some health-related stories. And 2.5-year-old Esther Obenewa needs $2,500 to undergo corrective surgery for hole in heart. She was diagnosed of tetralogy of the phallus at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital last month, and her parents have not been able to raise the money. They have therefore turned to the public for help.
Esther Obenewa was referred from the Princess Marie Louise Children's Hospital following incessant visits and complaints of fatigue, fast breath and delayed milestone. Her parents, Madame Comfort Abuaji, a 42-year-old and Mr. Isaac Obin, a steel bender, say their daughter has been suffering since birth.
If you crash, as on quite test, I no crampono. She sick a crying in asa.
Mebano. Babono who can be brave, so still. Yalian and co. Na, doctor say, I just say operation and sana qualano. No hombatono. And to Miss Ra out of what in Yamenka Makuma.
The cardiothoracic surgeon says further management will involve a palliative procedure to improve blood flow to the lungs, a year after which she will undergo corrective surgery. Donors who wish to support the family to raise $2,500 can do so through the Accra Girls branch of the Bank of Africa, account name Isaac Obing, account number 090-620-3922, or MTN mobile money number 0544-565-384. Payments can also be directed to the National Cardiothoracic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for 2.5-year-old Esther Obenewa.
Still on health and on religion, the Holy Child Hospital at Fijai, Peri-Urban Community near Second D now has a new Firefly phototherapy machine. The machine was donated by the Martyrs of Uganda Catholic Church in Takoradi in a bid to help address the problem of neonatal jaundice in newborn babies.
Child Hospital at Fijai is an outpatient department hospital with a daily attendance of about 250. Most cases are related to maternal needs, recording over 60 deliveries per month. However, the hospital is confronted with some challenges which hinders their operations. These include a fit-for-purpose Firefly phototherapy machine, which is used to help treat neonatal jaundice among newborns. The Martyrs of Uganda Catholic Church responded favorably to the urgent call of the hospital and donated the machine. The donation was part of the Silver Jubilee celebration of the church. The chairman of the church's anniversary planning committee, Dr. Bernard Boateng-Dua, said the gesture was part of the church's contribution to help eradicate childhood jaundice in the region. The medical superintendent of the Holy Child Hospital, Dr. Barbara Fenyi, commended the church for coming to the aid of the hospital, saying it will bring relief to parents and save lives. She also called on other organizations to come to their aid to help provide quality services to the people of Fijai and its surrounding communities.
Away from Fijai and on religion still, Pope Francis has appointed Bishop Richard Kwa Bawober of the Wa Catholic Diocese of a cardinal of the Catholic Church. Now he is among 21 other new cardinals named by Pope Francis who will take up post at the Vatican in August, 16 of whom are under 80 years old and thus eligible to enter a conclave to elect his successor after his death or resignation. Bishop Bawober, a member of the Society of the Missionaries of Africa, is known in Ghana and beyond for many acts of charity, key among them his love for people suffering from mental challenges who have been neglected by their families. In 2016, when he was appointed bishop, volunteers at Bishop's Projects that takes care of people with mental illnesses started going on the streets looking for patients and providing them with care. He was born on June 21, 1951 and ordained as a priest on July 18, 1987. staying a bit longer on religion, as Ahmadiyya Muslims worldwide celebrate their annual convention, the call for all Muslims to play a role in removing the misunderstanding and misgivings about Islam in the world and highlights the beauty of Islam in their respective capacities. In Accra, Amir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission, Alhaji Maulvi Mohammed bin Salih, said everyone who believes in Islam should establish peace and a brotherly environment in the world.
The 89th Annual National Convention on the theme Khilafat Ahmadiyya, a tool for authentic Islam revival. The Jalsa Salana Convention, held annually at Ahmadi community in more than 200 countries, including Ghana, was instituted by the holy founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hadrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian in India. The purpose of Jalsa Salana is to enable every sincere Ahmadi Muslim to personally experience true religious benefits and the existence of Allah, the all-living. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community was brought to Ghana in 1921 by a devout Indian Ahmadi Muslim missionary Amir Al-Hajj Maulana Abdur Rahim Nayar. At the opening of the convention in Accra, Emir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission in Ghana, Alhaji Maulvi Mohammed bin Salih, said that so-called religious clerics were taking advantage of innocent people by radicalizing them and brainwashing them through misinformation. He said such clerics were motivated only by greed and lust for power, and so it was the duty of Ahmadiyya Muslims to inform people of Islam's real teachings.
Indeed, the saddest note is in the fact that the Muslim world is in great turmoil, and Muslim youth are gradually developing an inferiority complex and resultantly shying away from Islam. The world is gradually but tactfully avoiding the company of Muslims, also because of the established erratic, inhumane, and unfriendly nature of the Muslim.
The two-day convention was held by the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission on the theme, a tool for authentic Islamic revival, thus imbibing good morals and etiquettes of a Muslim on earth. The head and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission Ghana, Alhaji Maulvi Mohammed bin Saleh, charged Muslims to be vigilant and report to the police of any suspicious terrorist groups or persons in the community.
Away from religion, the world is marking the 77th United Nations Peacekeepers Day. At a flag-raising ceremony in Accra to mark the day, a Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Mr. Thomas Mbomba, reiterated Ghana's commitment to improve the security and safety of United Nations peacekeepers.
Quest for peace and security, the United Nations secured and implemented a number of peace agreements at war zones and has over the years offered support to the vulnerable and less privileged in conflict-affected countries. For the past 77 years, the UN have deployed thousands of peacekeepers to war zone countries, and a number of these peacekeepers have fallen in line of duty.
It is noted that the UN cannot undertake peacekeeping operations single-handedly. I urge the United Nations, member states and international agencies and organizations to contribute to partner each other to attain global peace and security.
A Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Mr. Thomas Mbomba, urged Ghanaian peacekeepers to be selfless in serving the United Nations with professionalism and be ready at all times when duty calls.
Our commitment to peacekeeping and conflict prevention is reflected in our priorities for the Council on and sharing Ghana's 5 decades of internationally acclaimed experience and competencies in peace operations with other states in the ECOWAS region and the remaining part of Africa.
The United Nations Resident Coordinator, Mr. Charles Abani, commended Ghana for a consistent role in providing peacekeepers to the UN over the years.
I salute the men and women of the United Nations for the dedication, courage, and sacrifice they have made on behalf of their fellow citizens. Most importantly, many Ghanaians who have served and continue to help restore and maintain stability in some of the most violent and dangerous places in the world.
Wreaths were laid in honor of UN peacekeepers who lost their lives in line of duty around the world. The global theme for this year's celebration is People, Peace, Progress, the Power of Partnership.
On international fronts, the leaders of France and Germany have urged Russia's Vladimir Putin to hold direct and serious negotiations with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Emmanuel Macron and Olaf Scholz spoke to Mr. Putin by phone for 80 minutes. The pair insisted on an immediate ceasefire and a withdrawal of Russian troops. Russia's leader said Moscow was open to resuming dialogue with Kiev. According to the Kremlin, it did not mention the possibility of direct talks between Mr. Putin and his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky.
The Ukrainian president earlier said he was not eager for talks, but added they would likely be necessary to end the conflict. Russian and Ukrainian negotiators have held multiple rounds of talks remotely and in person since Russia invaded on 24 February, but efforts have stalled of late. France and Germany also urged Mr. Putin to release 2,500 Ukrainian fighters taken as prisoners of war at the Azov-style steelworks in Mariupol. The sprawling factory became the last holdout in the southern port city, which endured relentless bombardment from Russian forces and now lies in ruins. Moscow officials said the last fighters defending the plant had surrendered, while President Zelensky said they had been given permission to leave. Russia has previously said more than 900 of the fighters were moved to a reopened prison colony in Olenivka, a village in Russian-occupied Donetsk. A smaller number with serious wounds were taken to a hospital in the town of Novosovsk, also in Donetsk. Ukraine hopes they will be released as part of a prisoner exchange, but Russia has not confirmed that. Some Russian lawmakers argue the fighters should be tried or even executed.
And it's that time for the update. Felicity Ahafianyo is the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting, joins us on the phone lines this morning. Good morning, Felicity.
Good morning, my sister.
How is the weather going to look like for us this morning?
Yeah, today the weather is going to be pretty good over the 16 region. It's going to be partly cloudy.
Right.
Then we have some few rain and thundercloud formation later in the day over the Volta, part of the Ashanti, Bono area, and then part of the western region. The northern sector too, we are having some system over Burkina Faso, which is anticipated to descend over those areas. So over Tamale and the Bolga, Navrunko, Bokutumu areas are expected to have some rain later in the day, that late afternoon into the evening hours. Temperatures will also be on the high side today, 33 for Greater Accra, 35 for Kumasi, 34 for Techimine. But those of us going to the north is going to be around 36 over Yendi, Tamale, 37 over Bolga, Tanga before the rain sets in. So this is how it's going to be for today.
Right. What's the state of the sea, though, and the Volta Lake? Is it going to be rough or is it going to be calm for our fisher folk?
Yeah, today the state of the sea is expected to be between calm and rough, but then it's going to be pretty good. We don't have any tracking storm over the sea, but then if they go, they just need to be a bit careful. The water lake this morning is pretty good for any fishing activities, but by 2:33 thereabouts, that is when we are anticipating localized formation of rain and thunderclouds over that area. So. Right. As usual, before the set, especially those that will be doing the evening fishing activities, should call the office on the landline, the 0302-777-172, and speak with the duty forecaster to just find out whether there is a rainstorm over the Volta Lake.
Right. Thank you so much, Felicity Ahafionyo, for giving us a rundown of how our Monday will look like, which is closing the month, will look like today so that we can plan our activities right. And Felicity Ahafionyo is the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting at the Ghana Meteo Agency. That does it for news at 6 a.m. with me, Maltiti Saida Sadiq. Up next is Health Check. We have Keep an Eye also, and the headlines will also come your way, after which Thelma and her guest will also come your way. With all that's happening in the world, this is your place to be, to get informed, educated, and entertained. We're still live on Facebook at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Join us with your thoughts and comments. We're streaming live on DSTV at channel 278 across the world. You can watch us as well. Stay with us.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try to suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do. We go straight to start. I'm gonna take you to that level. Oh my baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy that got back, baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take you to that level. Oh my baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, in 2016 pledged to ensure free senior high school education for every Ghanaian child. Under the leadership of the President, the first-year enrollment has grown from 308,000 in 2016 to a projected 500,000 this academic year. The Transformation Agenda series exposes you to the varied and various achievements of the government in the area of education, delving into the policies, interventions, and infrastructure development that has occurred under the leadership of the President. Be my guest this and every Saturday through all the 16 regions of Ghana from 8 o'clock p.m. to 8 p.m. Transformation Agenda series, reimagining education for national development. Transformation Agenda series coming soon on GTV.
Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds.
Welcome to the Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak, and you, my friend, are very welcome.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming.
so like Rock of Ages, Blematessa. I just learned something new in Gang, courtesy of Mercy, who is behind the camera, and Weiss, who we will be seeing pretty soon. We're talking junk food this morning on Health Check. Are your children hooked on junk food? What is junk food? Could there be some benefits in it? And if your children are hooked, how do you get off? My guest is Weiss Letcher. He is our favorite dietitian and author, and a guest on our show. Last week you had him here talking about salt, and now we're talking junk food. Weiss, good morning.
Good morning, boss.
Good to see you, man.
Same here.
How was the weekend?
Cool, restful.
You had some good food?
Yes, I mean, as always.
As always. All right.
I love my food.
You love your food, so you know what you put inside your tank. Okay, so first of all, what is junk food?
Yeah, so any food which ends up giving the consumer too much of either fat or sugar. So those two nutrients or food sources of those nutrients form a majority of the food. Meals are supposed to be balanced. So if balance is there and then you end up getting too much either sugar or fat from any particular food, it's said to be junk, meaning that it's just behaving like matter. It's occupying space in the stomach and helping you not to feel hungry, but not giving you good nutrition or all the nutrients.
So fat and sugar are the enemies.
Exactly. So
too much of them.
Too much.
There must be some benefits in fat and sugar, though.
Of course, they are necessary nutrients. Sugar gives us energy, and fats also give us energy. And then even in like they form protective shields or sheets around our body organs. They provide us with fatty acids. These are all necessary for growth of the cells and maintaining the tissues and helping the body grow in transmitting nerve impulses and all these things. Fats play a lot of role in developing the brain and all that. Like I said, sugar energizes all cells, and it's important to even note that our brains use only sugar as a source of energy. Other tissues and cells can use other molecules. Some use fat in addition to the sugar, but brains use only sugar. That's why sugar is so vital to the body, because anytime it enters the system, our brains feel rewarded. So it's not that sugar is bad, but too much of it. If you fail to strike or get the right combination of the food sources, then it becomes junk.
Before we talk about why junk food has become so important, let's talk a little bit about where you get sugar from.
Okay, so sugar and fat are chemical compounds, and any food source that can be described as a source of starch or carbohydrate, it's a source of sugar. So we have various levels. We have the simple sugars, and then the complex sugars and the very complex sugars. So table sugar can be described as simple sugar, or glucose and fructose and stuff like that. All we get from fruits is also sugar. Yeah. So the sugar source, regardless of the source, whether a natural source, or that is for the simple sugar, whether it's coming from a natural source or like a natural food source like a fruit, or it's coming from a refined source or a processed type like table sugar, they cannot be bad if you put in too much. Now, the complex sources of sugar are healthier because they don't rush into the bloodstream after consumption, or immediately after consumption. So you eat fufu, at the end of the day it becomes sugar. You eat your wache, at the end of the day majority of the components are digested and it becomes sugar. But that's a more gentle process. It releases the sugar or glucose into the system much slowly.
Okay. All right. Why have junk foods become a big deal of late? especially with respect to children?
Yeah. So you see, the world it's a global village, like many people say. Nowadays, our children, even before the age of 1, they know their way about mobile phones and tablets. They view their cartoons and programs that they watch every day. A lot of it is about the Western culture, and then they also learn Western food. The little ones can even know or mention certain foods that we don't know about because they see them on the screen always, and these things get imprinted in their brains. So they are so used to the not local kind of food, not because parents are even deliberately introducing them to these foods, but because that is what
they are exposed to.
They are exposed to right from a very, very early stage in life. So they want to try out these things. And you agree with me also that our society has really, really changed. We have a lot of this junk food around. The vendors have come from other countries. They've established here. So it's available, and it's convenient also for some parents. They also feel like it's a way of rewarding their children. Or
I'll buy toffee for you, okay? I used to hear that when I was growing up. I'll buy toffee for you, okay? If you're a good boy.
Exactly. And it's ice cream and all this. And also, people see it consuming such foods as a way of enjoyment or living modern or good life. So that's where we find ourselves. Society has evolved so much. So we've drifted so much from what is local, and people can also afford. Formerly, ice cream and all those things probably were not so easy to get. Not because we didn't like them, but because the purchasing power wasn't there. But now, I mean, there's a lot of middle class people who can afford to do that. It's not a good thing. That's why we need to be talking about it.
In your practice as a dietitian, what are some of the impacts that you see in children? Describe what you see in children who have eaten so much junk food.
Yeah, there are diabetic children and not like juvenile onset diabetes. Talking about the type that should have been coming when they grew up, adult onset.
So hardcore adult diabetes in kids?
Yes, so that's like the one associated with being overweight and obese. So it's called type 2 diabetes.
And kids are getting that?
Kids are getting that.
How young?
As early as 7, 8.
You have a 7-year-old diabetes?
We see them, yeah.
Wow.
And managing them is so complex because these are children, you know. You know that I have diabetes, I don't have to eat this and that, but anything. So that is one of the things. Some of the adult onset diseases are affecting children, not only diabetes, hypertension.
You're getting kids with BP?
With high blood pressure and high cholesterol. These issues are appearing or very, very common these days among children. And then you even see the earliest manifestation of these ways of eating is obesity. So there are more fat children around. So childhood obesity is on the increase.
You're seeing that?
Exactly. We manage them every day. You manage these cases every day. So, and a lot of the time, you interact with parents and they now get to understand that, okay, it's from the food, it's from their lifestyle, it's from their busy life and all that. So there's a need for us to be able to take a little bit of break and take care of our children better in terms of the kind of foods we give them. You don't leave them to just be fed by anybody. I mean, you struggled to carry them in your womb, and if a child is obese and does not even become diabetic or have cholesterol as a child, it's easier for that child to develop those problems when they grow up. So
how would you know that a child is obese? What are the indicators?
Of course, they need to be assessed. So there are charts that we compare weights to for age. So at a particular age, there should be a corresponding weight. So a 10-year-old girl shouldn't be weighing more than 35 kilograms, for example.
And you've seen 10-year-olds weighing how much?
Just yesterday, I attended to a home client, a 10-year-old, so that's what? 94.
That's my weight, though. And she's 10.
She's 10. I'll mention names.
No, you're not mentioning names, but it's a 10-year-old.
Yeah, yes. So that's it. And
is she tall?
She's around 1.5 meters.
That's about this height.
So that's a child with a problem, you see.
Wow.
So these things are real. A lot of the time, they have double their weight, but this case is like 3 times triple. And it's I think culturally also, when babies are chubby, they are fat, we feel that is when people will say they look beautiful. That's when they would say that you are taking good care of them and stuff like that. But it's always better for the children to not be too big. They should have close to their ideal weight whilst they are children, because when you force them to outstretch their size, you've caused the production of a lot of fat cells, and that's the stage for a long-term battle with obesity and its complications, which is the stroke, the diabetes, heart disease, and all these things. So what it means is that researchers will tell you that it's like we are preparing a future of gloom, a situation where there'll be a lot of people needing stroke care in the future, maybe in the next 20, 30 years. A lot of people having all these conditions. There'll be a huge healthcare bill for individuals and for the nation. So, and we are talking about, all along we've been talking about the other side of nutrition leg, which is overnutrition. Whilst that is a problem, there is undernutrition as well, due to the consumption of these junk foods, because at the end of the day, like I said, the food will be like matter. It seems as if you are feeding your child, but they are not gaining the necessary nutrients.
So they're eating a lot of this junk food, but it is not nutritious. So they're
yes, undernourished. Yes, and so a lot of our children are anemic. They don't have enough blood. So the child may look big and all that, but test their blood and you see that they have low HB. And then look under their eyelids, it looks pale. So we have to really just come to our local food resources. There's so much solution, very, very easy to solve anemia issues with what we eat every day. Our kenke banku fufu, our green leaf soups, and stuff like that. And I want to also appeal to Ghanaians that there's nothing like where you come from. There's no point in living in Ghana and feeding your children continental dishes. It's not done anywhere in any other country. They don't feed their children Ghanaian foods. So why should we be so focused and think that we are living modern lives and neglecting our local banku, fufu, yam, wache, and all these things? Let's come home. And if we prepare our own meals well, just go low on salt. Last time we were talking about salt. Manage all the other spices, cut down on frying. All these are the things that we should we need just a little effort to strike the right balance so that the meals don't become that junk. And we shouldn't be so happy that, okay, we are taking them out to have ice cream, then out to eat out here and stuff like that. They also develop the tastes for such foods, and so you are just giving them a very, very bad gift to grow up with.
Give your children good gifts. One of the good gifts is GTV breakfast, weekdays, 5:55 to 10. Another good gift is the fact that we have Wise Lecturer, who is a dietitian and an author, talking to us about the junk foods. Are your children hooked on junk foods? I'd like to hear your stories. Send us a WhatsApp on 055 556 1034. 055 556 1034. If you're reaching us from outside of Ghana, it's 233 55 556 1034. Wise. Are schools being unwise by displaying all these fizzy drinks and cookies and cakes? Because it's a big deal when you go to a lot of these schools, private schools especially. In public schools, you see them all the children have been given money by their parents to go and buy a snack.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things that you can also even do for your children, to just drop money for them to. They are not old enough to make the right decisions. And you put it right, it's not good. The way fizzy drinks especially are even sold in schools to children. It's not healthy, and it's a practice that has to be regulated. The nation has to take interest in it, because certain countries have done it, and they have banned the sale of sugar sweetened beverages to children in schools.
Yeah, some countries have done that.
Yes. So we can also do something about it. It shouldn't be seen as prestige, no. What they do, these children, instead of buying or eating meals that will give them all the nutrients or balanced meals, they end up taking a bottle of soft drink or two because it's sweet and they like it. So at the end of the day, or half of the day, they've not eaten any proper food. And even for those who would have eaten the right foods and still top it up with the fizzy drinks, they end up pushing in too much energy, and that's the cause of the obesity. So if we can really win this war against children becoming too fat and children ending up with adult diseases and all those kind of things, we need to really check it right from the school going age. It's better to even pack meals for your children to take to school, train them that way. It's always good. It's a good investment to make in their life, to get home made meals. And where schools are responsible for their feeding, parents should be interested in what exactly they give to their children, so that they can on all the oily stuff and the fried and the junk stuff that they give to these children.
On a kind of related note, a couple of weeks back, there was a story about a senior high school where the kids were protesting seriously because they were eating yoka gari and beans every day for 1 week. And they I mean, go Ghanaian, but wasn't that overkill?
No, those children should rather...
They should be happy.
They should be happy because, I mean, there's nothing wrong with beans and gari. Once it's not like a whole drum of oil is put in a plate of the beans, and that's a good combination. You have your protein, you have your carb from the gari, you have little oil. It's an example of a perfect balanced meal.
Yako gari, eh?
Exactly.
Nice.
So there's nothing really wrong with that. Probably if they were always adding fried ripe plantain, then it's becoming like too much of oil.
Yeah, I even think the plantain is overkill, really, because the yoka gari is enough.
It's well, but I mean, if the portions are not so much, you can still enhance the taste with the plantain, but not too much of the fried ones.
Not too much of the fried ones.
So I would, any day, be happy with such a combination or a meal plan for schools.
Awesome. We're going to take some messages now from you on junk food. Are your children hooked, addicted to junk food, you know, all the fats and all the sugars, and you're worried? Well, we've got help here in the form of Wise, lecturer, our dietitian and author. And we've got our presenter, Thelma.
Associate Liverpool fan.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Saturday, dear, if you had seen Motiti, you'd have been sorry for him. She was eating all the junk food. So when I asked her, what's the definition of junk food? And I said, it's anything a Liverpool fan would eat after a loss.
For comfort.
For comfort.
For comfort. All right.
Good morning to all the Liverpool fans. I know you also know I know you. Here are the messages on our WhatsApp number 055-5561-034. And these are your thoughts and not the thoughts of GBC. And I'll go straight to it. Aaron will send us a long one as usual. Question, what are the clear examples of junk foods? I think we have done. Why do we have them in the market? what makes junk food very dangerous to our health. And he's also asking, what is the best meal for children, since our food market is full of junk meals, on the note of it's affordable. Aaron Babakuko Komisa from Latebi Okoshi. So why is junk food so cheap?
Yeah, I think because of mass production, maybe that's why it makes business sense. If you cook large portions of rice, probably they don't use the so type of ingredients as well. So people are into business. But I reckon that healthy meals are cheaper than junk food.
Are they?
Yes, they are. So if you go through the process of planning your meals, you notice that you spend less on food compared to those who buy food. I hope you understand it. So what are the stages involved in planning meals? There are 3 things to consider. Know what you want to eat, gather your ingredients, and then prepare your meals ahead of time. So you cook stews that are healthy, you save in your refrigerator, you have soups, etc. By the time the month is over, you realize that your expenses on food is less. You can go through so many days without having to spend money on food because you have prepared ahead of time.
I think for a lot of people, the problem is how to cook quickly when they are strapped for time. Yeah. So if the children need to go to school and they need to give them something to take along, then they resort to the really quick, because the noodles are really fast to cook. So what advice would you give to people who have to prepare meals for children but have very little time to do so?
Yes, so like I just said, get your stews prepared ahead of time. So you have your proper stew, you just thaw, and then you mix with whatever you are doing in the morning. It's quick. I mean, we do that at home every day. So I know it's practicable, right?
Right. Good morning, Kafwe and Chekudi. Junk foods are very tasteful, cheap, and available, if you'll admit, but you have to be so disciplined to stay away. Do you think it's a discipline thing when it comes to people eating more junk food than healthier options?
Of course. I mean, they come with taste enhancers, things that you and I will not use on a normal day when we are cooking at home. So when you eat, it kind of programs your brain that you want to go for more. So some of those ingredients are very, very injurious to our health. The kind of salts they use, the kind of condiments and the spices and all that, the combinations are a killer. So we don't have to allow that to happen. And it's actually a psychological thing. If you're already hooked onto it, you really, really have to speak to yourself or your mind so much before you can get off.
I think I like this where +233 is going. It said, as for chocolates, it's a vegetable. It comes from the cocoa tree. I love +233 because he's making a strong case for eating chocolate and not any other thing. Good morning to those of you who are sending morning messages to us. So does junk food have any health benefits? Salvation for my, it's food. And so surely there will by all means be something good.
Yes, but the food that will hurt you at the end of the day is not worth going for. So even to satisfy hunger, there are nutrients in it, just that too much of some of them, and then at the end of the day when they come together, they hurt the system because you store excess of these nutrients and then they become fat in the system. So it's not also good to create a problem and then think about now how you solve it. So let's just try and stay off.
So before I leave you, I'll just ask for some alternatives. What would you advise for people who love all these junk foods? What can they substitute it with? If I love to eat French fries, are there healthier options? If I love my pizza, are there healthier options? So we can begin to switch things around and eat healthy in the long run.
Of course. There should be a way of taking out some of the. You can still make some of the meals to look like the ones that you like, but adopt healthier cooking methods. So if it's fried French fries, if it's fish, you grill instead of the fried one. You put it there. If the preparation of the food involves use of cheese and butter and stuff like that, you probably try to use vegetable oil and stuff like that. So if you really want to make what we are saying is not good, you look at the ingredients. We can find alternatives for some of them, but truth be told, I don't hide the facts about some of these bad things. If it's bad, it's bad. Let's not try to make it look good. Let's rather learn to drop them. And most of this stuff out there, they will end up hurting you. So we have to be bold enough to just stop eating them. And that's why we should channel our energy.
Dexel has a point to make. He said children don't like local foods. Is that true?
It's not true. It depends on how you bring them up. And then also there's something about programming in the womb. It gets to a stage in pregnancy where the children's taste for food preferences are developed. So if the mother, the pregnant woman, eats badly, those children will come out like this.
They acquire the
So
taste.
I advise that when you are even pregnant, make sure you choose healthy foods and you help your children.
And someone was talking about storing and cooking in the fridge and the fact that that could also develop bacteria, so it's not necessarily the thing to have. But yeah, these are your comments, and perhaps the last one. A lot of cancers these days are associated to junk foods. Is that true? I'll hand it over back to you.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, I mean, it just gives us more reason to try and promote more of our local foods and promote good cooking methods. We can be healthier as a society, because not only the kind of conditions I mentioned, cancers are even in the mix.
Okay.
So we have to be very careful.
All right. How can people get in touch with you in terms of your books that you've written? You've written quite a few books.
Yes.
On very worthwhile topics.
Yeah. So I have Live Long by Eating Well.
Okay.
Also, Be Your Own Dietitian.
Okay.
And
you want to put yourself out of a job.
and Eating to Prevent and Manage Lifestyle Diseases. So 0244 090262. 0244 090262.
Right.
And also they're available on Google Play. You can just key in the titles. You can download them onto your phones and tablets, Android phones and tablets.
Okay.
They're available in Kingdom bookshops, wherever you find them. They're available in cities across the country, in Ho, in Tamale. If you call our hotline, we'll be able to link you up, and we deliver.
Okay.
Where you are.
Great stuff. Wise Lecture, our favorite dietitian, talking about junk food and children. Thank you. Have a good day. A healthy day as well.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
you're watching GTV Breakfast. Still to come, 7 o'clock is the sports news with Maltiti. 7:20, we've got our headlines. Yesterday, I had a choice. Do I go to the Liverpool barber or the Chelsea barber? And I thought that the Liverpool guy may give me a bad haircut. So I didn't take any chances. I went to the guy who supports Chelsea, and he gave me my haircut. He trimmed my beard and everything. So if it's looking good, thanks to the Chelsea people. All right. Quick rant before rush hour. Why is it that some government institutions don't allow taxis and ride-sharing guys, Bolt and Uber and Yango, to enter their premises? One elderly lady I met yesterday, last Thursday, at the passport office, was so angry because she wasn't allowed to enter the passport office to go and do her transactions. And she was telling me, suppose it was raining, she would have to stop outside and go in. We want to know why government institutions are not allowing taxis and Ubers and Yangos to enter. I need answers, so I'll get those answers. And those of you who have suffered this, you'll know. It's now time for Rush Hour, and here comes Valerie and her people just before the sports news. You stay with us. And these are my red shoes, okay?
Good morning again. It's still GTV Breakfast, and we are live on screen and also live online if you use the hashtag GTV Breakfast. Monday mornings are rife with traffic. Everybody's rushing hour to get to work, to drop the children off at school. What does traffic look like from where you're coming from? So for us, we are looking at traffic from the Ridge roundabouts, the Ridge part of town, and our guy Alan is on the beat, and he'll be on our screen shortly. He'll be looking at traffic and probably give us alternatives as to which other routes to use if and where you're going to be using is traffic prone. Alan, good morning. What's happening? Where are you and what's happening?
Hi, good morning, Valerie. Welcome to the Ridge Roundabout here in the Greater Accra region. As you mentioned, we're looking at rush hour traffic, and so northwards to where I'm faced will be traffic coming in from 37. Westward will be traffic out of this roundabout towards the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, and then behind me, southwards will be towards the Accra Central Business District. Indeed, to my east will be traffic headed for the Osu Cemetery and or the Accra Sports Stadium end of town. To look at it critically from where I'm standing, we are going to have to take traffic out from here or traffic coming from the Accra Psychiatric Hospital end. And what you have is a slow approach to the roundabout. It is not as bad as it would usually be given the time of day. However, I would say that if you're coming in from the Accra Psychiatric Hospital and towards the Ridge Roundabout, and you have to make your way towards the Central Business District, or the Osu Cemetery and or Parliament perhaps, or you're even using the third exit, in which case you'll be headed for the 37 end of town, traffic is bad. What there is, however, is that slow entry and exit into the roundabout towards either the Central Business District or the alternative routes out of the roundabout towards across Ghana's Parliament, or the various routes out of this particular section. What I can see beyond me as you approach the Central Business District, in which case you're looking at the Efia Sutherland Park or the National Theatre, or perhaps you're looking at the Mövenpick hotels in Accra, is a little traffic, and this may be due to the sidewalk traders who by now will be getting their wares off the sidewalk to make it available to commuters as well as pedestrians who use that end of town. Let's look at traffic leaving this roundabout and making its way towards Accra's Parliament or the Accra Sports Stadium, as well as the Cemetery end of town. And what you have again is an absolute free flow of traffic. There isn't much to worry about if you're making your way towards the Ghana's Parliament, parts of Osu, even the Oxford Street, or you're making your way towards the Accra Sports Stadium or the Black Star Square. It's a free-flowing traffic. There isn't much to worry about, and so commuters would not necessarily have to be in a rush. As much as possible, keep to the road traffic regulations and keep to the road speed limit, and that should be okay to get you to your destination if you have to use this end of town. There ain't much to worry about. Let's spin round and look at traffic coming towards us from the 37 Military Hospital, in which case it will also be traffic coming from parts of Medina, Adenta, the airport end, even Nima, Kanda, and part of the headquarters. There is a good amount of traffic coming in from this direction. What there is, however, is because the roundabout is free, you have a free flowing traffic. There is a pedestrian cross just as you enter the roundabout, and this sometimes holds traffic slightly to allow pedestrians to cross, and commuters are also free to move. We would also beg of commuters to be patient when pedestrians need to cross. Indeed, there is a crossing there for a reason. And what you have is some trotro drivers not necessarily being patient with commuters, and they honk on them to hurry them up. This is unacceptable as far as traffic regulations are concerned. Pedestrians also have a right to be on the road, in which case that's why the zebra crossing or the pedestrian crossing is there. This so far is the traffic situation at this roundabout, the Ridge Roundabout in Accra for you. Thank you very much for joining us, Valerie. Thank you very much for coming to us. This has been Rush Hour, coming to you live on #GTV Breakfast. My name, as always, is Darrell Alan Tego.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Alan, for those traffic updates. And that Was our rush hour from the Ridge area? What does traffic look like from where you're coming from? Let us know via our WhatsApp number 055556134, and remember to follow us online using the hashtag TTV Breakfast everywhere. Coming up next is the Queen of Liverpool. Today she can't even speak. She's sick. She can't speak, guys. You see her behind the scenes. Maltiti Sadiq Saida is next with Breakfast Sports. What do you think her headline sports story will be? The defeat of Liverpool? Well, let's see. She'll be right back.
Thank you for joining me. On this side is GTV Breakfast Sports. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq. I'm in white and black. White means victory. I never walk alone. Am I walking with losses or wins? I still never walk alone. I'll give you my Dagbani proverb when I get to the Champions League story. But today, the stories that are making headlines from all the trolls, from all the Red Devils and the Blues in the studio. The Black Stars are preparing for their double header. Also look at the Women's Premier League. We'll look at the Ghana Premier League as well, the Champions League. And who are the champions of Europe, that is? We'll look at Ralph Ragnick exiting Man U. Also do some tennis stories as well. Let's start off with the Black Stars. And the Black Stars open camp with 27 players reporting to training at the Cape Coast Stadium ahead of the 2023 AFCON qualifier doubleheader against Madagascar and the Central African Republic next week. Currently, goalkeeper Richie Dufori, defenders Daniel Amate, Jonathan Mensah and Denis Odoi, Christopher Encheje, Yao Yeboah and Braden Menu are expected to arrive in camp by close of day for Otto Addo to have a full house. Now, the Black Stars take on Madagascar in the opening game on Wednesday at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. In a related development, Ghana's midfielder Alfred Duncan has scripted a long letter to the Ghana Football Association as he announces his retirement from international football at the age of 29, citing discrimination. The Fiorentina star, in a heartfelt letter, announced his retirement from international football after his last appearance for the Black Stars in 2018. The letter read it was time to say goodbye to the national team. Whilst expressing a heart of sadness, Duncan indicated he wanted to write a piece of history with the Ghanaian national team, but was never given the chance to prove himself. The letter went on to highlight a number of reasons Alfred Duncan had to finally bid his passionate to his beloved national team, the Black Stars of Ghana. Very unfortunate. Also, news making rounds, and that's been trending, is that Sani Dara of the GFA, after the number 12 expose and the investigations that went down, has been exonerated. Now, it says the Ethics Committee of the Ghana Football Association has cleared former Communications Director Rahim Sani Dara of the breaches of some roles in the number 12 documentary that premiered about 4 years ago. We'll bring you details of that. The case is still in court, but he has been cleared of those charges. Let's move on to the Ghana Premier League, and Asante Kotoko are closing in on their 25th title after defeating Mediama in Takwa for the first time in 8 years. Now, the Porcupine Warriors secured 3 points thanks to an impressive first half. 2 goals through Andrew Kwejo Apau and Mbele Etuga. Kotoko are coming from the back of the shocking 1-0 loss to Bechem United in their last fixture.
It's Mediama versus Kotoko in the Ghana Premier League. And here Mediama go in search of the opening goal. Danlad Ibrahim.
Etuga, yeah, he's offside, but he didn't know he was offside. Should be finishing that off and came off the woodwork.
It's a corner for Kotoko. Imoro Ibrahim delivers. That's the header, and that's the opening goal. The Porcupines are up by 1-0 in 23 minutes. It is Andrews Kojo Apel.
They are away from home, but they are here in their numbers. That is a massive, massive goal for Kotoko. Imoro's ball into the far post. It's a really good corner kick by Apel. It's a tower with his power.
Looks for support. Akwesi Donso Hansen. Now here is Justice Mensah. Mensah! On his left foot is missed from close range. That certainly could have been the equalizer. Samuel Boateng sets up Mudasiru. It is Mudasiru. Here is Etuga. Oh, what a goal! Amazing finish from Etuga in Bella. His 20th goal of the season.
They turned it into gold here in Takwa. And it's precise with the finishing. Picks the top corner with his weaker foot. 20 goals in a season, no fluke. Brilliant goal scorer Etuga.
Last weekend, Kotoko were beaten with 10 men in Kumasi against Chelsea. And here they are. They're man down but 2 goals up, and the first half is over here at the Akun Park in Takwa.
Also going to be dropping into the middle of the...
Donsu! Brilliant save, Danlad Ibrahim.
Meanwhile, Elmina Sharks' dismal season has resulted in their relegation from the Ghana Premier League. Their relegation was confirmed on Sunday when they were defeated by Brekum Chelsea at the Golden City Park. Chelsea completely dominated Sharks, winning 3-0 and relegating the latter to the Division 1 league for the coming season. Let's look at the table now and look at the standings. And coming up on your screen shortly, yes, now you have it on your screen, King Faisal and Great Olympics, when they met, it was a 1-1 win there. Ashanti Gold and Accra Lions, it was 2-2 draw. Brekum Chelsea beat Elmina Sharks by 3-0. All this happened on Sunday, the 29th of Legon City and Rimiani Gold Stars when they locked horns. It was 1-1. Mediama SC was beaten by Asante Kotoko by 2-0. Wafa and Bechem United, it was a 1-1 draw. Ediana Stars and Dreams FC, there were no goals through there as it was a 0-0 scoreline. The Real Tamale United, the Lions of the North, and 11 Wonders, when they met, it was 0-0 as well. Now today, Monday 30th May 2022, Hearts of Oak and Karela United will be locking horns later today in a crucial game as well. When we look at the standings, Asante Kotoko still up there in their pride and glory with 59 points. Bechem United with 50 points in second place. Mediama SC, impressive with 50 points as well in the third place. And the former league winners, Hearts of Oak, the Phobians, at fourth place with 47 points. How are they climbing up to the first place to unseat Asante Kotoko? We will see. 11 Wonders, bottom 3, 33 points. Wafa, 29 points there. Elmina Sharks, they really need a miracle and some prayers. 22 points on the league table. Now let's look at the Women's Premier League. Ampem Dakwa will be representing Ghana in the CAF Women's Champions League after winning their first Women's Premier League title when they defeated Hazakah's Ladies in the final at the Accra Sports Stadium. Now the Techiman-based side defeated Hazakah's Ladies 5-4 on penalties to win the Women's Premier League title, thereby handing Hazakah's Ladies their first defeat of the season in this year's Premier League.
After Victoria Osei has placed it through to Sewa Ophelia, who equally fed Elizabeth Owusua, what is disallowed. It was flagged offside, an action that caused a lot of stir. It continued in earnest with quite a lot of incursions being made. Doris Bwedua coming in with his effort, being well saved by Safia 2. Veronica Apia followed. She was caught by the goalkeeper Safia 2. And then Success Samiye had to convert after the sport cake had been awarded to Hazakes ladies. Comfort Owusu. She scores. Owusua, she scores. Owusua scores for Ampem Dakwa ladies. Obianiju, she converts beautifully and comes in with that lovely celebration. Beautifully. Ampem Dakwa lady, maybe Owusu, she scores. So it's 3-2. Being taken by these lovely girls here. Victoria Osei, she scores. 4-3. Has rescued her side. She has done the crucial save. Champions League for this season. Sewan Ophelia. She sends Ampem Dakwa
ladies taking their medals. They are not happy, but yet this is it.
He has
so
been able to achieve.
the check presentation is being done now, and then I think it's over for Hazakes ladies. We have
matches that Badigi has won against Ampem Dakwa ladies doesn't mean anything to.
Captain, what a joyous moment for Ampem Dakwa. That is the trophy. It's a silver trophy. Decorated.
Congratulations to Ampem Dakwa ladies. Hazakes ladies have put in a tough fight there. But guys, have you seen the medals that were given to them? Have you seen it? It's been trending on social media. And I mean, I think we have a score to settle with the Ghana Football Association. This is harrowing. It's an eyesore. I don't know if we've run out of materials to produce better medals than what we are seeing. But these medals are just not the right medals that should be handed over to champions like these people or these are players. It's really, really unfortunate, and we think that the Ghana Football Association must do better. Now, moving to a story that's on the heart of many people in the studio. It's like 10 men against 1, and I'm giving you a Dagbani proverb so that you understand the circumstances behind this story. Dagombe say that den cheka jotemal zo ovian din you know when lula jarne. What's the circumstances that gives the vulture a bald head? If it's a foul, it will fall directly into the pot of soup, and that's to the Blues and the Red Devils. Now, Real Madrid reminded the world that they are still
Coming live from the capital,
This is the breakfast show. Coming live from the capital. This is the breakfast show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars being an African country.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure than Votras here at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria?
Lufat. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawon to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatus.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me more. Tell me more. Hey, tell me more. Tell me beer.
They ma worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. WBT. Oh, now
yes. Buga, nade. Senior, name me and ma cut down. My business is a collapse. My house are bam.
So we take quick credit in Ghana.
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit. Who pesika? Edia true udwediem. We are government and a private worker. Who pesika dia till hot so. We are bosumi adwuma. Who yes sika dia bibin tempai so. Quick credit be ma loan. Em what you an kakra. Na eni jesem kese ne say. A collateral free loaner, susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBL. The here say, Ghana card. 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now one hour young. Who need excuse here? Quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. Besina quick credit. Hello.
Yes, Daddy.
Oh, City. With your voice, no teaching my okay. I can't live without you. Talk to me.
Daddy, the money.
Oh, yeah. I'm a. Thank you too. Oba money for you now that you be able to me. Have you real phone? Yeah, me and my wife. What is it?
It's your Beneto. You think slave queens are cheap?
Oh, all that.
Just use ZPay to send me 1,000 Ghana cedis. After all, the charge is only 5 cedis.
No problem. Come inside. Surprise visit.
The money.
Oh, okay. ZPay mobile money. ZPay.
Oh, thank you so much. Don't mention. I can even use the same ZPay mobile money to pay my bills. Now let's
dial *270# to pay all your bills with ZPay mobile money.
ZPay Shatumu Direct.
Ago! Sikaria, we are in here. Listen, I have good news for you. This is guaranteed to make you rich forever and ever.
I know what you're searching for. I'm alerting you.
Ajay, madam, please.
QNet does not make false promises.
What did Mama tell you?
Report suspicious activities at 0256 630.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant?
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. So Green Ghana.
Planting a tree every day keeps the environment safe.
This campaign is proudly brought to you by the Government of Ghana under the auspices of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Forestry Commission, with support from Green Ghana. Let's go plant.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana.
Ghana today, where with the hure, our day, you know they far away. Now.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
a lecturer at the Gimpa Law Faculty and a corporate governance expert. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Carl.
Okay, we're going to start on a personal security note because on the line, I have a lady who's going to share an experience she had a couple of days ago. She is the founder of Modern Day Moms of Accra. Her name is Vanessa Jan. Vanessa, good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast.
Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
I am very well. So I saw your tweet on the 29th of May, which is just yesterday, and it started, ladies, please be vigilant in these streets. I had the weirdest experience yesterday driving on the N1. Now, take it away from there. What exactly happened to you on the N1?
Okay, so I was heading to my cousin's house in Achimota from East Legon. So I head onto the N1, I'm driving, and just at the Fiesta Royale traffic light. Sorry, I had put Royal Senchi on the tweet because I was tweeting fast, but the Fiesta Royale traffic light, I was prompted by a car that I don't even know where the car came from, but he ended up on my right. And he prompted me that like something was wrong with my tire. So I'm thinking, okay. So once the light turned green, I crossed to the opposite side and I pulled over to the right. As I pulled over to the right, I noticed the driver also pulling over to the right behind me. This time, it's 12 p.m. by the way. So first thing I did was lock my door, and I cracked the window down just a tad bit because I had noticed he was coming out, so at least I could hear what he was going to say. So he approaches the car and he's like, "Oh, your car is leaking." And I was thrown off. I'm like, "What are you talking about? My car is leaking?" He's like, "Yeah, your car is leaking. Come out and let me show you." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna come out the car. Like, what do you mean it's leaking? So what do I have to do?" And he's like, "No, come out, let me show you." And I was like, "No." So he bends down and does something. Obviously, at that point, I can't see. And he stands up and he's like, "You see it's leaking." And he shows that there's oil on his fingers. So then I'm really thrown off. I'm like, okay, so what should I do? And he's like, you're not going to make it where you're going. Mind you, he didn't know at that time where I was going or how long the distance was going to be. So then I looked at my GPS and I was like, I'm only like 6 to 8 minutes away. So it's not far. So when I get to my cousin's house, he's like, "No, come out and open the bonnet so that I can show you where exactly it's leaking. You're not going to make it far. The car is going to shut down on the way." And so at that point, I called my cousin, but she didn't pick up. So I sent her a WhatsApp note. So he's still at my window with it cracked small. Like, he can't even put his hands in if he tried. But I'm making sure he knows that I'm prompting someone of what's happening. Like, I told her the location. I told her, like, I'm just a few minutes away. And then that's when he said, "I'm a mechanic, so you can let me take you to my shop. It's not far from here." So I told that's when I actually said, "It's not far from here, but you said if I move my car, it's not going to take me far. It's going to shut down." And he's like, No. Come, what? Don't you trust me? Don't you see I'm a mechanic?" And all that was, I can't show that I'm nervous or I'm scared. So I'm just like, don't worry. I'll drive it to my cousin's house. When I get there, we'll get a mechanic. It's not a big deal because it's 6 minutes away. You are saying your mechanic shop is a few minutes away. What's the difference? So he was a bit thrown off and he looked at me. Then he goes back to the car. So I start to drive off slowly, very confused at that point. And he's trailing me for like another, I would say 30 seconds, and then he makes a right turn, and he goes, and then I head over to Achimota. I get out my car, we check the car, nothing is leaking. And yeah, so then I was going to tweet about it on Saturday itself, but when I got to my cousin's house, everything, talking to them, and I didn't want to stress myself out anymore, have to think so much about it. But I had said that I would tweet about it, so I did yesterday.
Yeah, and I saw the tweet. The tweet has gone viral. A lot of people are sharing their about that situation at that particular Fiesta Junction.
Yes, I'm so surprised, Kathy. There's so many stories, so many experiences.
So, I mean, was it a sixth sense that told you not to get out of the car? I mean, what was going on? Have you had this experience before?
I've never had this experience before. In general, when it comes to me and driving, I'm a bit nervous. So certain things I'm like, even if I come out the car and you show me where it's leaking, I don't know what it is. You know, like I don't know cars like that, you know? So for me it would be I'll just drive to my cousin's house, or I'll, like if it was say like East Legon, I know all the mechanics in East Legon, not all, but you know what I'm saying, like it's my area. So I would know, okay, I can drive to this, but I just felt like, first of all, I'm on the N1, this is just too risky. Even me stopping was risky.
Was he alone in his car? Did you check? He was just alone?
Because his car was behind me and it was tinted.
Ah.
It was a white car with like black in the front. That's what I saw when I was looking in the rearview mirror, but I couldn't see if there was someone else in the car.
What's your advice to people who are listening to you? Not just the ladies, but everybody else. What's your advice?
So honestly, just I stopped, yes, but if you do end up stopping, make sure your doors are locked. Don't roll down do exactly what I did. But even that, you're risking. And when you pull, like for me, when I pulled off, I was monitoring him behind me to make sure he was not gonna trail me all. Because if he was, like, to see if he was gonna trail me all the way. But honestly, do not stop. Keep driving. If you feel like, okay, maybe something might be wrong, keep driving till maybe you get to a filling station. But if someone has prompted you, I don't think you should stop until you know that they've gone how long they're trailing, and you don't know who else they're there with. Because a lot of the stories were saying that sometimes they have someone in the car, so when you're talking to them or you're distracted, you're out the car, they have someone pickpocketing your car, you know, and it's scary.
It's really scary. Yeah. KKD shared a story like this on the Temamoto. We're glad that you're safe, and thank you very much for sharing the story.
Thank you. Also, one more thing. There's a road, when I was coming home, the Achimota Forest Road, I think that's what it is. That is complete.
That is